Stop, don't scroll. If you've ever seen 140/90 on my blood pressure monitor, this video is about you. And what I'm about to say will make a lot of people uncomfortable. A blood pressure of 140/90 is not automatically a disease, and in some cases, the panic to bring it down immediately does more harm than good. Here's what still shocks me after decades of work. People are ready to panic over numbers on a screen, but live completely fine with 30 extra pounds. Chronic sleep deprivation, daily stress, and zero exercise, and call it just getting older. What's ironic? That 140/90 scares them more than the fact they haven't climbed a flight of stairs without getting winded in years. Today, I'm going to tell you the full truth about blood pressure. No scare tactics, no doom and gloom heart attack stories. No you must do this immediately nonsense. If you stay until the end, you'll understand why one person lives perfectly fine with 140/90, while another turns it into constant anxiety and fear. Toward the end, I'll show you a simple test I often use with friends in Europe. It takes just a couple of minutes and tells you more than 10 random blood pressure checks ever will. I'm a physician with more experience than most people have patience. I've worked in different healthcare systems, seen completely opposite approaches, and I've come to one clear conclusion. Fear is the worst treatment plan. So we're going to talk calmly and honestly, like adults who don't just want to fix a number, but actually understand what's happening in their body. So let's start. You checked your blood pressure and saw 140/90. The very first question I always ask my friends is, under what conditions did you measure it? Because what comes next is usually almost funny. A friend once called me, clearly stressed. I think I have high blood pressure. We started breaking it down. Turns out he measured it right after climbing 4 flights of stairs. While thinking about work, checked the number, panicked. Measured again. It was higher. Checked again. Now it was off the charts. Diagnosis, self-made. Then came Google. Then the scary articles. Then the mental goodbye tour. Here's something important. Blood pressure is not body temperature. It's not supposed to be perfectly stable. It rises when you're stressed, when you're rushing, when you're angry, when you're nervous, even when you're excited. Your heart isn't a mechanical pump with factory settings. Blood pressure fluctuations aren't a malfunction. They're a normal response of a living system. I remember a case from Vienna in the 90s, a very active, driven man in his early 50s. His blood pressure would swing from 120 to 170 throughout the day. He wore his monitor like a watch, morning, afternoon, evening, night. Before meetings, after meetings, sometimes just to be safe. We sat down and talked, and it became clear. He was living in constant anticipation of bad numbers. I took his monitor away for 2 weeks, no lectures, no threats, just took it. A month later, he said something I've heard many times since. For the first time in years, I stopped thinking about my blood pressure. Now here's the key point. 140/90 by itself means very little. Years ago, doctors used simple rules. Then guidelines got stricter. In Europe, the approach became more cautious, but the real truth is this. Healthy blood pressure isn't a number, it's context. Some people spent their whole life at 110/70. For them, 140 is a real strain, they feel it. Others have lived for decades around 135 to 140. They're active, sharp, energetic, and when someone suddenly forces them down to 120, they feel weak, dizzy, and confused, wondering why treatment made them feel worse. The human body is not a smartphone with default settings, it adapts. Years of poor sleep, chronic stress, minimal movement, fast food on the go, make blood vessels stiffer. To keep organs supplied with oxygen, the body raises blood pressure. That's not failure, that's survival. Now let's look at 3 different people, Same numbers, different meaning. Scenario 1. You're 45. Your blood pressure used to be lower. Now it's rising. You feel symptoms. Here, you need to look for causes. Scenario 2. You're 60. Your blood pressure has been like this 4 years. You feel fine. And suddenly someone says, you need medication right now. This is where rushing can be a mistake. Scenario 3. You're 50. You carry extra weight. Your blood sugar is borderline. You snore. You don't sleep well. Now this isn't just blood pressure. This is a whole system asking for attention. So how should you measure blood pressure correctly? Not once, not in panic. Not after coffee. 2 weeks minimum. Morning and evening, at rest. Same conditions every time. And the hardest rule of all. Don't emotionally react to the numbers. Because anxiety raises blood pressure. Better than any energy drink. I've seen people turn blood pressure tracking into a full-time stress job. One friend even made spreadsheets, graphs, trends. Factoring in weather and moon phases, I asked him, when was the last time you just enjoyed life? He paused and realized it had been a long time. Blood pressure isn't dangerous because of numbers. It's dangerous because of the background. Age, weight, sleep, stress, blood sugar, smoking. They all stack together. The good news. Many of these can be changed without pills. Movement, sleep, weight, stress response. Sometimes that's all it takes for blood pressure to come down naturally. So if you saw 140/90ths today and felt that spike of fear, pause. It's not a verdict. It's a signal. A signal that maybe it's time to treat yourself not harder, but smarter. 140/90ths is not the end of the world. It's a reason to think, and sometimes to start living more calmly and consciously.